stepping away. Form has been very different this season, but it's Gloucester-Hartpury into the wind who are going to get us underway through Flighty George. And away we go with round 7. Lightning receiving the ball, getting a good confident carry. That's Rachel Malcolm. And if Lightning are going to get anything today, they need their leaders, don't they? Malcolm and Hunter and O'Donnell to really front up against this terrifying Gloucester-Hartpury pack, but it's the backs who are getting underway. Rachel Lund there, 5 tries for her already this season. She's full of confidence. Zoe Oldcroft packing down at 8 today, although even when she was playing second row last season, spent a lot of time at the back of the scrum. So confident in everything she does. That's Lara Delgado taking Gloucester-Hartpury up to the 22. Now Flighty George shifts it on to Cecilia Tui-Pelotu. Again, proving very versatile herself, whether it's a tight head prop or in the second row. When you've got somebody with that kind of carrying ability, Kat, it's just important you've got them on the field, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, but not just that, she's actually got some lovely soft hands. We've seen her do some offloads throughout the season and even some big long passes to the wings, so very skillful player.
Kath O'Donnell there with a bone-crunching hit on Oldcroft. Connie Powell, she's at hooker today. She scored Gloucester-Hartpury's first try in that thriller here last year. And after what can only be described as a real pig of a morning and afternoon, the conditions now absolutely beautiful as Flighty George shows some good footwork. Blue skies and a sun-drenched Alpas. Is there anything more rugby union than a sunny Saturday here in this rugby heartland? Oh, lovely ball to Sam Monaghan back in the midfield. It's a bit loose for Gloucester-Hartpury, but loads of great phase play here. And the ball in play for a long time. This is lung-busting defence for Loughborough Lightning as Flighty George nudges that one in behind, and we'll have a first look at the set piece.
Yeah, just the confidence you mentioned that they play with. They had that for a lot of phases, all from the counter-attack from Singh, who carried. They managed to get it through to Lund, lovely handoff, and then they just go through the phases, and that was a really nice tactical kit, putting the pressure onto Loughborough for the first time to have to kick out their 22.
Bryony Field in at 2 today. England under 20. Sucker finds her jumper, and that's a nice ball and a chance for Lightning to exit. Well, they're going to put it through a few pairs of hands first. As we mentioned, playing with the wind in the first half. Looking back to Singh, who puts a foot on it. It's pretty loose. Singh recovers well. Back with Gloucester-Hartpury again. So our commentary position, bang on the halfway line. We spent the whole time looking in one direction at the moment.
Back, back, back!
George puts that out the back door. The more I watch her play, the sharper she looks on her feet. Her footwork's really improved in the last 12 months or so.
Yeah, she's also one of those deceptive players as well, because she looks like she's going to pass it, then actually carries.
That was Tui-Pelotu again. It's gone backwards off Emma Singh. What are we, 3.5 minutes in, and Lightning making good tackles, but just struggling to get their hands on the ball. Confidence here from Gloucester-Hartpury, going at the right-hand side this time with Rugman.
Okay, off off.
Some start to the game here. Gloucester-Hartpury tiptoeing around the 22 as well, despite all the possession. Not really fired a shot yet.
Okay, and release.
Loughborough's defence is really relentless. The tracking across from Weston Combe there as well to make sure she's got the tackle on Rugman.
Singh stood up. Gloucester-Hartpury with the width to play with, but again they go narrow. Another confident carry deep into the 22 now. Players queuing up for carries as well. It's not quick ball for Gloucester-Hartpury, but it is good ball. Loughborough Lightning being stretched, but again brave in the contact zone to slow that ball down. Mohan digs. Connie Powell. Better ball, quicker ball. Monaghan, good chop tackle. But again, the pace just going up here for Gloucester-Hartpury. Lightning is sniffing around the turnover there, but no dice. Now Flighty George steps back in, tackled by Hardy. in the 12 jersey for Lightning today, Emma Hardy.
Hey, use it.
Connie Powell in at first receiver. If she gets her hands on it, we don't necessarily expect it to go much wider than that. Monaghan again stood up by her opposite number, Kath O'Donnell. That's going to be a physical battle in the engine room today. Hurd's the first there. This time is Sarah Hunter coming flying out of the line to make a big collision, but finally Gloucester-Hartpury make the mistake. And Loughborough Lightning going to run it out from their own 22. Might regret that with tackles like that. But how they exit today is going to be important, particularly the way Gloucester-Hartpury have gone through the phases and shown that they're happy to hold on to the ball for 90 seconds, 2 minutes. And there is a spiral clearance kick. Look at the distance on that, 50, 60, 70 metres with the bounce.
That's a fantastic kick, and now they just need to make sure they have a good chase on it, because we know what this counter-attack can look like from Gloucester.
Well, they're straight back up to the halfway line. Rachel Lund returning the ball. And to George. That's out wide to Tat Hurd, who's on the left wing. She had Hannah Jones with her, but held on instead. Lot of ball in play time here. We've had the one knock on from Cecilia Tuipulotu, one kick to touch, but they played on from the knock on. So we're 6.5 minutes in. Barely had time to breathe, especially in these heavy conditions as well. This is going to be a very, very tough afternoon on the lungs for both of these teams.
The lungs and the legs. Heavy legs when it's slippy ground like this.
Lund out wide again. Has that gone forward? Referee says no.
Counter's good.
Good counter ruck from Loughborough Lightning, but then Bethan Lewis gets her head down in that black scrum cap today. Now George. Tipped on. Could be some space out wide here, but Singh steps through the middle instead. It's swung round, but always seems to half beat the first defender. A lovely pickup from George, who nudges that one in behind. Smart kick. And Gloucester-Hartpury back in the 22. Loughborough Lightning needing to exit again.
Yeah, and they did do a really good exit under pressure before, but I think what's really key for Loughborough is they're not giving penalties away. They were defending how many phases? Just phase after phase after phase, but they did it legally. They put the pressure on, forced the knock on, and then played their way out of it, so credit to them.
Well, discipline's going to be huge today, particularly in the second half with Emma Singh's boot, because I think anything inside the halfway and she can go for poles.
Absolutely.
Back from red, play on.
Hand on that. Gloucester-Hartpury pinched the line out, so 1 from 2 Loughborough Lightning. They've given up possession again to Tuipulotu. Third visit to the 22 this for Gloucester-Hartpury, and they'll be keen to come away with some points at some stage as Allcroft gets her head down. Such a recognisable body position into contact. Such a nightmare for defenders to stop. Here's George with the options across the front to Jones, who gets rid of the first defender. Connie Powell. Hunter makes the tackle. An important tackle as well. Picked up off the toes by Hurd. Sometimes it's the bouncing ball that causes the chaos. Monaghan. 5 metres short now for Gloucester-Hartpury. Mo Hunt with the offload. Great tackle on Hurd. They've got a penalty advantage here. Loughborough Lightning finally straying offside after this relentless period of defence. Monaghan. George dinks that one in behind. Lovely kick from George. Lightning defenders there. And will come back for the penalty.
Oh, they're really scanning, aren't they? They're having a look, seeing if there's any space in behind. Right to do as well when there is an advantage. If you have seen a gap, put it there, and you're making those Loughborough defenders chase back.
It's going to tap and go here. When Mo Hunt eventually puts the ball down in the right place. Jess Weaver, who was offside. Bethan Lewis. Gloucester-Hartpury set the platform again. Sending ball carriers forward. Again up the short side, Connie Powell. He's been busy in these opening salvos. George, Hurd, out to the right hand side, touchdown! And it has been coming. Ellie Rugman scored a brace in the win over Saracens, gets the first try of the day. 10 minutes of good defence from Loughborough Lightning, but it's a 5 points over Gloucester-Hartpury.
Even more impressive was that was off a free kick, a quick tap, because actually you expect wingers to get it when you have a scrum, there's loads of people in there, there's lots of space out wide. They opted to go for the tap, and they still managed to move it out wide to get the ball into Ellie Rugman's hands. So they don't panic, they just go. It's not even anything flash particularly, but they just look after the ball. When they do carry, they make sure they get the ball back. It's pretty good speed as well. And then here it is, just scanning, it's good hands. Wingers turns in, nice to just go to a simple 2v1, really good execution.
Well, credit to Loughborough, they've hardly touched the ball and they've lasted 10 minutes. But it's a massive, massive challenge for them now, for the dam not to break, isn't it?
It's that, I think you put your body on the line, you defend, you defend, you defend, but at some point that energy runs out. But at the minute, fair play to them, they are really going for it.
Emma Singh into the wind from the touchline, the hardest side for the right footer. But a composed strike sends it goalward. So that drifts across the face. Gloucester-Hartpury 5, Loughborough Lightning 0. And as you mentioned there, the execution in the build-up to that try, because it would have been easy to maybe opt for the scrum to create the space, but that's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence. Yeah,
you have to be confident to do it, and everybody seemed to know that that was what was going to be the case as well. But Gloucester have a great scrum, they have a fantastic line out as well. They even stole one of Loughborough, so they could have easily gone for those options, but actually really like to see them just play with it.
Oldcroft receives the kick-off, Lightning keeping it low. I think we might see a bit of that today, the ball off the greasy surface. Sarah Hunter with the tackle on Connie Powell. She's already been busy in defence, hasn't she, Hunter? Nobody for Lightning has been busy in attack. There's George. Seen a great clearance kick, but well kept in by, I thought Bolger had got her hand on that then.
Yeah, I thought so too. Really nice to keep it alive, keep it back in so you can see what she was trying to do, but Touchdown's obviously closer to it than we are, so just must have seen a little tiptoe on the line.
Well, Lauren Bolger back in the tries, of course, scored against Wasps after that hat-trick against Saracens' first game of the season that got everyone's attention. Perhaps not the day for a fleet-footed winger with the heavy surface, but still, the Lightning today, if their flyers do get an opportunity, they're going to have to take advantage. That one drilled into Oldcroft from Powell, and the cherry and white machine goes to work. Emma Wassell's in there, trying to be a pain. Lewis makes sure she exits through the side door. Gloucester-Hartpury from the 10-metre line to the 22. Well, that one is somehow squirted backwards off her. And there have been a few of those for Gloucester-Hartpury that get in the luck of the bounce at the moment. But when you're playing with confidence, it's amazing how many other things go your way. There's Buggy out of the back to Singh. Now Lund. Back inside to Singh, gets a second touch, gets the second try, and Gloucester-Hartpury are turning it on.
The link play between just the whole team is fantastic. Lund there actually thought she might have had a go herself, had a little bit of room, but actually the safer option was passing it back inside to Singh, who was there, get the kick a little bit closer as well, back on the inside, but it's confidence, it's just the ability to be able to do that. So it's the option to go wide, so we get the ball into Lund's hands nice and early. You think she might have a go there, actually fair play, defenders come across, so that lovely timed pass back inside, and good support line as well, lovely try.
Second touches, I mean we've seen scrum halves do it for years, haven't we, that trailing inside line, but now just holding your line and offering yourself, that's still a good finish from Emma Singh, but many years ago we'll have seen players give up on that line, and you know, you're going through different phases, you're taking the chances, but they're just so hungry to score.
I think it's the way that Gloucester play though. Their wingers get a lot of ball. When I was travelling here with the weather, I wasn't sure how much the wings would get ball in hand, but straight away both wings have had it. They've both been able to break out wide, and because they know that's the way they want to play, of course they're going to go running those support lines because they're going to get rewards for it.
Tough from the tee into the wind, but that is 2 tries in quick succession, and that original initial brave defence from Loughborough Lightning has yielded twice in 5 minutes as we take another look at this lovely score.
So just a lovely one too. So Singh over to Lund and then calling for it back, and then she could be the one to dot it over, but either could have scored really with that, but you can only do that and you can only pull the defence aside if you have enough numbers there.
And we often talk about improvements in the game as Tat Hurd receives that kick-off, but surely front row forwards add in value. That's Catherine Buggy in midfield there, putting that ball out the back to Emma Singh.
Oh yeah, and it's the handlers. You get coaches say about it, doesn't matter what number's on your back. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Gloucester-Hartpury away again up the right-hand side. Beautiful offload there to Mo Hunt, who's there looking for options, scanning for options. And now that's the second offside penalty. Still only 2 penalties conceded by Lightning. Just desperate to get their hands on the ball, and of course this Gloucester-Hartpury team with their tails up. Remember, try bonus points in their last 5 games, over 50 points in their last 4. This is a team that means business.
Yeah, and you can tell as they're walking, just there's a lot about body language. There's no mad rush to get there to take a quick tap to try catch the team off guard. They're going, actually in this area of the pitch, this is what we want to do. We want to go to our line out, which is a proven track record throughout this season, but the confidence that they're playing with, and as you said, there's been quite a few drop balls, but they've all gone backwards, bar one. So it's just when you play with confidence, well, you know, it's a bit like watching New Zealand when they were in their heyday. Every single bounce went to them, and it's looking like Gloucester are harnessing on that energy.
And for Lightning, it's just a case of hanging in there, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, discipline has been good, as you said. Two penalties when you're defending like that and you're tracking back. It's actually not bad.
That's been knocked on. Not the easiest of conditions today. No rain at the moment, although the clouds are rolling in. We had that beautiful sunshine for about 5 minutes and we all got excited. But we had so much rain, not just this morning and early afternoon, but also in the few days leading up. I mean, I genuinely thought we were going to have to park the cars up and get boats in to get to the Hartpury University campus today. But with it being heavy underfoot, with the wind swirling and the ground being so wet, handling is going to be tough today.
Yeah, going to be tough, but both teams have done really well, and I think their skill set, you know, the high ball's always difficult in these conditions, but they've all been fielded really well. My friend who doesn't know much about rugby said, oh no, I've heard that actually when it's muddy and it's windy and it's rainy, it's even better, it's good to play in, isn't it? And I said, depends what position you are. I can't imagine the wingers that particularly love it. But saying that, the wingers have got the ball really well.
Absolutely, they've handled it well. So our first look at the front rows then, Bartlett Field and Belial for Loughborough Lightning, Delgado, Powell and Buggy for Gloucester-Hartpury. Experienced front rowers, plenty of firepower in behind as well. This scrum battle could be a really interesting one today.
Well, Loughborough last week annihilated the Wasp scrum.
Gloucester-Hartpury looking to put the squeeze on though. Jess Weaver. Just a good ball. Looked like there was half a gap there. Good carry and good ruck speed for Loughborough Lightning, who again can put a good clearance kick in. They're just desperate for some field position, aren't they?
Yeah, but really good exit to get all the way up there from a scrum where, you know, Gloucester scrum is decent as well, to get the ball. Lovely chase by, lovely kick from Nelson as well, and a good chase on it. But they just haven't had the ball in the right areas to be able to show what they can do.
Well, they challenged at the last line-up, forced the knock on. I wonder if we might see someone thrown up here just to try and disrupt that Connie Powell rhythm a bit more. Well, they have done, but Bethan Lewis has done well.
Get off one, Fred.
Mo Hunt assumes the position. Great work by Lightning.
Yeah, their effort's really starting to pay off in these moments. As you said, a sniff of a turnover earlier, they're getting players in, they're getting quickly, and Gloucester are working well to clear out, but it looks like it's starting to turn for them, and the important thing is they just keep up this energy. We saw what they could do last week for the first time really this season, and they're going to want to bring that to Gloucester today.
20 minutes gone. Couple of tries for Gloucester-Hartpury. They've had all the ball. Few visits to the Lightning 22 for Gloucester-Hartpury. Not always fired shots though. The 2 shots they have fired have resulted in 5 pointers. This is the first time Lightning have had the ball in the Gloucester-Hartpury half. Scrum looking pretty solid for both sides as well. No one with a real advantage. To Nelson. A little dink into no man's land. Where's that going to bounce? Oh, it's an excellent take. Ellie Rugman off her wing. Wet bouncing ball. Very often we see those going forward, but not this time. Safe hands from the right winger.
Yeah, timing good, ball out. Hold Gloucester.
Mikey George
Carry back, wingers put the
into
ball.
the wind. In fact, we could see the ball hold up in the wind there. And Nelson tries to put that over the top of Lund.
No, we're good
Sings
anyway.
there comfortably. Oh, but a lovely bit of footwork on Singh. Could run herself into trouble here though. Baloo Matatonga with a good chase.
You called that before it happened. You saw it. They were in on their feet, able to get over, and she got herself a little bit isolated by carrying on their own there.
Right, well, we got to stay.
Well, she's just brimming with confidence, isn't she? But inside the 22 there, could have been a good option to just put the boot on it and chase well.
Especially when you have a boot like she does.
Well, that was a good chance to kick for the corner. It's good ball here for Loughborough Lightning. First journey into the 22. Maybe Nelson would have wanted a few more metres.
I remember being in the 22 and kicking it out in an England-New Zealand game, and Katie just turned around to me and went, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "'Cause I'm in my 22." She was like, "Just run it." I did not have Emma Singh's boots, however, but yeah. I always remember that. I was like, okay, right.
Thank you. We're clearly inside to start, all right? Loughborough, just a metre, thank you.
Loughborough Lightning into the 22 for the first time in the match. 6 in the line out for the visitors, and it's been pinched by Monaghan. Beautifully timed late leap and a swooping right hand to snatch the ball and the opportunity with it.
And use it!
That's Lewis gets her head down. Leah Bartlett first on hand to make the tackle.
Okay, 9, use it! 9, you've had it!
2 players in the backfield for Loughborough Lightning, Nelson and Matatonga. They were stood about 40 metres away from the ball. I mean, Mo Hunt's a good box kicker, but in these conditions, she'd do very well to put that kind of distance on it.
Yeah, very optimistic depth with that one. But Monaghan, that steal was so good and well timed to get up and to steal it. But we haven't got the stats in front of us, but I reckon she did about 8 carries in the first 10 minutes of the game. She's such a worker.
Yeah, she's been a brilliant acquisition for Gloucester-Hartpury, isn't she? And she's chipping in with the coaching as well in the
Missed the ball!
Hartpury University group. They're going great guns. Mo Hunt, the head coach there.
7 carries, I've just looked at the stats. That's not a bad guess of 8.
Do you know what? Yeah, you've obviously
I
got
just
one
got
of
him in
those.
my head.
Your internal abacus
Yeah.
is going great guns.
Going non-stop. Yeah.
I think what's interesting as well is
I'll come back over, mate.
obviously the scoreline in Gloucester-Hartpury's favour. 25 or so minutes gone, but 88% of the possession they've had as well. Loughborough Lightning
Here we go.
in the relatively dry conditions with the wind as well. they've not really been able to make that natural advantage count.
No, the one time they were in there, they decided to kick over the top. They didn't choose to keep it in hand, and then the other time they lost the line out, so not really had much opportunity, so they're going to want to use it. I'd like to see them keep it ball in hand, because Gloucester back three are so good at fielding it.
In it comes from Weaver. Best period of the game for Lightning so far. No real scoring opportunities though, as Gloucester-Hartpury look to turn the screw in the scrum, but comes back Lightning's way. Lovely dummy from Hardy. Williams-Morris ran a good line as well. It's got a bit messy, a little bit slow. So Lightning look to reset through Kath O'Donnell. Looks to get the legs pumping in these heavy conditions. Bartlett. Big cherry and white wall. A wave of defenders coming to meet it. Malcolm. Now Nelson. Options. They decide to go out of the back. Could be some space here. Williams-Morris shifted on. Lauren Bolger. They want to get her into space. Singh meets her, and Bolger ducks underneath. Pace and power from the Lightning right winger. Nelson again. Shifts that one on to Sadia Kabea.
Advantage, offside.
Now, free go at it here for Lightning. So a little nudge in behind. Singh will gather.
Offside number 3.
I'm surprised Loughborough came back to that right-hand side, because if you look at how the Gloucester-Hartpury set up, they were marked up on that blind side. Normally you only want to go back against the run of play, because Gloucester would have over-chased perhaps, and we spotted it, but playing back into it when they're set, surprised they went that way anyway, but had the advantage, put the kick in behind, and now they get to have another go at it. Last line out was stolen, but they're opting to go for that line out, so they're obviously confident they can fix things.
Yeah, they've got a good set piece with plenty of options, haven't they? But you need to find touch first. Oh, that's a great kick. Thought for a second Singh was going to pinch that, but 5 metres out. Best chance of the game for Loughborough.
Yeah, that was close. I mean, you want to get it to the 5 metre, but that, oh yeah, touch and go.
First job, Field needs to find the jumper. Great ball to the middle. Now they set, now they go. Field's there at the back. This looks good for the visitors. This is good for the visitors. What a response from Loughborough. 25 minutes under the cosh. Now they are back in the game. Gloucester-Hartpury 10, Lightning 5.
And that was great work by them. And again, it was going through the phases. They got it out wide. Bolger did a really good run, didn't she? She kept it in, they recycled it, they played, and they do what they are good at, and that is the driven line out. They've scored so many of their tries off of this. So they get set, and Field does what she does week in, week out. She keeps that at the back. It's nice and controlled, dots over the line when she's ready.
Well, that'll be a real confidence boost for Loughborough Lightning. Coming up to 28 minutes on our clock. Just a reminder that it's pretty close, but our clock not linked in with the referee's watch.
And they didn't let their head go down, did they? Because the one had been stolen, and that can get into your head, and you're just like, well, actually, we won't kick, we'll do something different. They were like, no, we back ourselves, we've got a good kick into the corner, we've got a great line out, and they came away with it. Great decision.
Nelson looking to fade that one in. Oh, does so beautifully as well. Starts it on the far post. And it's a 3-point game.
Yeah, excellent. And, they deserve those points because they have been in it. They've been working in the right areas. It just hasn't quite gone their way. But a lovely ball up top. Gloucester stayed down to try and defend what they knew was coming at them. But everybody's in there. Really good organisation. And, yeah, good score for them.
We're looking at some of the statistics here. So territory and possession now, or possession, 72% for Gloucester-Hartpury, 28% for Lightning. Here's a stat you'll like. 8 tackles Gloucester-Hartpury have made, 85 Loughborough Lightning have made.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that is huge. We said they were putting the work rate in, but 85 versus 8. Wow. And it's 10-7.
And
That's ridiculous.
What we can assume, though, is later in the game that is really going to take its toll, as that's gone backwards off Emma Hardy. But again, when you work so hard to get into the game, those are the kind of mistakes that can really cost you. And Gloucester-Hartpury have pinched that ball. Now here goes Aldcroft. Looks for the option. The option was Monaghan, but this looks pretty ominous here for Lightning. Lara Delgado. Hunt, options both ways, goes left, Tui Pelotu, she takes some stopping. And Gloucester-Hartpury knocking on the door again immediately. Short ball, great tackle. But Gloucester-Hartpury edge closer. Delgado sets the platform. Heavy artillery here for the home team.
Use the line. Use the line. On the line.
Oh, it's Mo Hunt. Pinched another one. Oh, she scores the cheekiest of tries. She opens her account this season against Exeter. That one was out of the same playbook. Any opportunity, and she is all over it. Gloucester-Hartpury strikes straight back, 15-7, and Mo Hunt is back on the scoreboard.
Real class there as well, because it's not even a pick and go. It's not a heavy carry trying to get low over the ground. They've been called short. Referee has said use the line. You can see Mo Hunt scanning now. She's looking, she sees where it is, and actually it's just a little dart. It's not even a pick and go. Look, it's about 10 centimetres, but you have to have spotted that even before those are coming round. So very, very smart player. And yeah, the Exeter one was brilliant, wasn't it? It popped out the back of the scrum, picked it up, score.
Singh yet to add any points off the tee. It's the easiest of the kicks. And that one driven through the uprights. It's a 10-point game again. Gloucester-Hartpury 17, Loughborough Lightning 7. I mean, great for Gloucester-Hartpury, great response, but how frustrating for Lightning. They've been flawless for 10 minutes. But then one lapse of concentration and they're back into their own sticks.
It's exactly that. It's just that one fumble that was deemed to go backwards, but I think the team thought it had gone forward, so stopped, and that's when you should always play the ref, because if you give Gloucester an inch, they will take it and more.
Singh, having learnt the lesson of last time, makes a good clearance, and that's just what Lightning needed. What do the coaches say? The try doesn't count until you've exited.
Yeah, yeah.
An interesting game on our hands here. Nice quick ball off the top. Monaghan comes through and levels Weaver. A short ball bringing Bolger into play, but Gloucester-Hartpury read that one. Left boot from Williams-Morris. Great challenge on the kick from Matatonga. She's just got a pink and purple hand on it and knocked it forward.
It's obviously a tactic for Lightning to just do that kick in between, so over the top of 13 but ahead of the wing, to try and target that, and almost worked out for them. And originally knocked back by Gloucester, but then I think in the gathering of it then ended up going forward from Lightning.
Back to scrum time though. Gloucester-Hartpury put in this time. I think they might have just started to sniff that they're getting the edge in this scrum. I wonder if they might try and really get a shove on here in midfield.
Well, you predicted the turnover earlier, so let's just see if we got this one.
Got my crystal ball for Christmas.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. What lottery numbers are you going for? Because yeah, I need to hook you up for those. Yeah, that's so good when that works out. So often in comms, you say something like, well, this is what they want to do. They do the opposite and it works out. But that one, fair play, Dave. Well done.
Well, for both of these teams, they pride themselves on a strong set piece, and they've got really strong props and hookers to come off the bench as well. So as we get into the latter part of the game, do not expect the quality of the scrum to relent, but that is 1-0 to Gloucester-Hartpury.
Well, when we said we've got Mortimer on the bench, who can play across the whole of the front row, 1, 2 or 3. Absolute quality for England as well. And so yeah, she's on the bench, so scrum time is going to be fascinating.
Connie Powell picks out Zoe Aldcroft and then goes on the march is Tatiana Hurd. And takes it to the line, but it's lost and well pounced on by Lightning. Being starved of the ball, you've got to take it where you can get it, and where they've got it here is in midfield. It's Christine Belisle. There's some space here for Lightning. That's a smart kick. Where's it going to bounce? Oh, just outside the 22. We were looking at 50-22 territory, but intelligent, composed play.
Yeah, and actually a metre further on, and then they get that line out themselves, the put-in. So a nice, smart idea, playing in the right areas. And the pounce on the ball by Sadia Cabello was so good, because you could have just let that go, but she darted on it. She reads the game very well, and she's just such a fast decision maker as well.
On days like today, your back rowers really earn their salt, don't they?
Definitely.
Stolen, good. Line out over. Ball moved out. Advantage, 7 entry. No, breakaway up here, you've got advantage.
So Bethan Lewis infringing. Loughborough Lightning with the chance through Bolger. Going to dance through midfield. Delgado, the tight head, makes a good tackle. Often could be a mismatch in midfield. Not this time. Kath O'Donnell crunches into the Gloucester-Hartpury defence.
No advantage, 7, 3rd entry.
Another good run from Bolger there. She's so brave in her contact skills as well when she carries. She doesn't care who's in front of her. She just runs as hard as she can. Good to see. But an important penalty here for Loughborough, because we've seen what they can do in the line out. They're going to be wanting to repeat that again.
How much has Nelson nibbled off this time? Oh, she's taken them to 5 metres again. Bryony Field starts to lick her lips and think about meat pie number 2, but first jobs first. Find the jumper. Gloucester-Hartpury, they threw a player up last time, didn't they? I wonder if they might defend this time. Yes, they will, but it's good ball and a solid platform for Loughborough Lightning to work off. Bryony Field still on the ball. Loughborough Lightning still going, searching for try number 2. Could be a carbon copy of try number 1. They have a second bite. Well, they need to be careful here, otherwise Gloucester-Hartpury will turn it over. No, it's down. It's try number 2. Loughborough Lightning's maul keeping them in the game. 17-12.
And again, really good composure from Lightning there. Referee said use it. Okay, it stopped once, but they managed to get it going again. Often teams will panic, they'll try and get it out or put themselves under pressure, but they had the belief they could get it going. They absolutely did. And fair play to Gloucester, because they defended really strongly initially to get that to stop. But Loughborough managed to get it going, and great, they're making this a tight game.
Oh, they certainly are, and they are in this game, because when those Gloucester-Hartpury bodies come around on the other side, you think, well, if Lightning don't produce this ball, it's turnover ball, it's scrum ball to Gloucester-Hartpury. So you mentioned there the composure, the patience, and in a game where you're against the league leaders, you need your set piece to function, and that is 2 line-out tries for this Lightning team, and a really, really important kick here for Helen Nelson. Well, that one doesn't dissect the uprights, but they're back within a score. Couple of minutes to go to half-time. Gloucester-Hartpury 17, Loughborough Lightning 12. Fascinating game.
Yeah, fascinating. Loughborough can't afford to switch off though. Look how quickly Gloucester have got back to the halfway line. Loughborough grabbing a drink, taking their time. Now they're rushing to get into position. They need to be there earlier, switched on. This half-time isn't done yet. They cannot let Gloucester get in with another score before they go in.
Well, that's a confident carry. Again, it's Rachel Malcolm. Oh, the left boot charged down. And it's back with Gloucester-Hartpury, perhaps chasing the bonus point score before half-time.
Okay, good, right, no hands, good counter. Yep.
Monaghan gets her head down. Oldcroft attacks her opposite number. Sarah Hunter hardly put a foot wrong in defence in this first half. Now is there some space? Oh no, Tatiana Hurd carries on. I think if Rugman kept her line out wide there, it could have been a gap for her to run into. But again, Gloucester-Hartpury tiptoeing. around the Lightning 22, surging into the Lightning 22.
Okay, tackle, move, no!
That's Hunt. Decent quick ball here, and again, Gloucester-Hartpury players just queuing up to carry. They love to get their hands on the ball. Such is the confidence of this team. Oldcroft, 6 metres short.
Good. Yeah, lifted, ball lifted.
And they'll keep going left. Monaghan. Gosh, he's met by Kath O'Donnell. That's a big tackle. Two seriously physical athletes, but now it's time for the gas out wide. Great pickup. It's quick hands from Gloucester-Hartpury. It's Loughborough Lightning hanging on till half-time. Delgado. Another tackle by Hunter. Back the short side, Hannah Jones. Jess Weaver called into defensive action. Powell. Lightning crying out for defenders on their left. Gloucester-Hartpury go right. This half ending exactly as it started, with Gloucester-Hartpury inside the 22. Tui Pelotu hits the line, and there's only one outcome when that happens. It's a bonus point on the stroke of half-time for Gloucester-Hartpury. Discipline in the 22, precision when it counts, and another violent finish from Cecilia Tui Pelotu.
Violent is exactly the word I'd use to summarise that. What a line! Such a hard line as well. She's such a difficult player to stop as well. Loughborough has some big hitters, but there's not much you can do with someone with that much power and size. Just comes bowling over. Can't see anything other than a finish from her in that position, but it's the way they worked around as well. They're going in numbers. They make sure that they can get the clear out, get the ball at the back. Mohan's already had a scan. She's lined her up, and then if you look at the line there, great work. Still got two players on her, but a good finish.
What I love about this Gloucester-Hartpury team as well, as we wait for the conversion here from Emma Singh, we'll talk a little bit about this at half-time. So Emma Singh, this conversion in pretty much identical part of the field to the one that she slotted previously. She's 1 from 3 off the tee so far today. And she's now 1 from 4. So it's a 10-point game as the half-time whistle goes, but a try bonus point in the bag for the 6th game in a row for Gloucester-Hartpury, and still 40 minutes to go. Loughborough Lightning have been under the cosh for the majority of this first half, but they picked up a couple of tries, and I think they'll still be confident of getting something from their visit to the Al Pass Arena. But so far, so good for the home team. At half-time, they lead once again. It's Gloucester-Hartpury 22, Loughborough Lightning 12. Well, let's take a look at the first half highlights then. The first try coming after 10 minutes. And at any point in the 10 minutes, I think it would have looked similar, because Gloucester-Hartpury were just camped in the Lightning 22. Yeah,
they were just, their mix between the forwards and the backs is always so good. They get enough carries in their forwards, and then just lovely hands there from her. Just scanned across, did enough that the defence turned in. So they thought they might have to double tackle her, and then a lovely weighted pass out wide to Rugman to score. So nice first opening score for them.
Yeah, it was lovely hands from Hurd, wasn't it? And she's the kind of player, because she's so dangerous in the carry, you can't leave her one-on-one.
And that was exactly it. They thought she might score, so they wanted to double up, make sure she didn't. And it's that, there you go, that turn, you just see that slight left hip forward, and then it meant that Rugman loitering out wide, as she does so well to get over the line.
Well, it was a tough conversion for Em Singh, so that left the score at 5-0 after 10 minutes. Wonder whether or not the dam might burst, and it threatened to, didn't it? This was the second try. Emma Singh scored it, and any question marks as to whether or not we'd see some running rugby and some width today in these conditions were answered by one try on the right, one try on the left in the first 15 minutes. Yeah,
and it was that 1-2 back and forth, which is so important with what we've seen so far with this Gloucester team. It is the support play. If you just get the ball wide and lead your winger to it, Loughborough's defence is too good for that. They're going to get across, they're going to stop it. But it was that back inside, the scanning, the pass, We think of 2v1s as easy, but actually they're not. When you've got defence coming across, you have to time it so well, and they do just that.
Now, at that point, as we're going to take a final look at this, Emma Singh scoring the try, but leaving herself a very difficult conversion, and I'm sure she won't thank herself for, but she has got 7 points for the afternoon. It was looking tough for Loughborough Lightning. They hadn't had a sniff. They were 2 scores down after 15 minutes, but then they just started to get themselves into the game, and this was the first reward for that.
Yeah, as you said, they'd made 80-something tackles, and really early on, so they'd done all the work defensively, and then in attack, they backed themselves, they backed their line out. Field did this, she's done it today, she did it last week as well. She's on the back of their very good driven line out maul.
Yeah, a good set piece is going to be a must today. And of course, Field scored the try, but also needed to hit the jumper, and Gloucester-Hartpury had done their best to disrupt a few of the line-outs as well, so she kept her nerve, and that was a very important part of the first half.
Yeah, the one before it had been stolen by Monaghan getting up and across, but she didn't let that keep in her mindset, and she made sure she got the finish. But yeah, Gloucester reacted straight away back, as you'd want any side to do. You've got to react, and it's Natasha Hunt, Mo, as we all know her as, just that little dart. I mean, that must have been, what, 6 centimetres? Yeah, all of. But you've got to be in the right position to do it, and you've got to spot it really well, and she did just that. Yeah,
they all count for 5 points, doesn't they? Whether you go from 6 centimetres or 100 metres. That took the score from 10-7 to 17-7. Then Lightning came straight back. They were made to work a little bit harder for this one, but again, cause the pressure, win the penalty, and that's the result.
Yeah, Gloucester had tightened up the defence on it. They'd made it stop once. Instead of panicking though, Loughborough regathered, organised, managed to get themselves going forward again, and then getting their second try.
And just like the first time they scored, unfortunately for Loughborough Lightning, they didn't get the exit right. First time, it was a drop in the 22. Second time, it was a charge down kick. And they had to work hard for their first 2 tries. One of the things I wanted to talk about is how impressive Gloucester-Hartpury are when they're inside the 22, because a lot of teams, they'll pick and go, but Mo Hunt just wants to get her hands on the ball. They're not scared to put it through 1 pair of hands, 2 pairs of hands, and then a line like that and a carrier like that. I mean, it's 5 or 7 points every time.
Oh, it's so difficult as well. So she's got Connie Power as well on her outside, so if the job isn't done, you've got extra firepower there. But yeah, defences generally, and you're taught to come tight because the threat is around the breakdown, and a lot of teams do go for those pick and go style. But actually by moving it 1 channel wider, especially when you've got a hard runner like that, so difficult to defend.
6 tries in the first half, 4 of them have gone to Gloucester-Hartpury. They lead 22 points to 12 with a try bonus in the bag as we look forward to the second half. In the meantime, while the rain has staved off, Jess is pitch side making friends. Who have you got with you, Jess?
Loughborough Lightning. I mean, congratulations, it's a big move.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be with Loughborough Lightning. It's been a place where I've had in the back of mind for, since I came across the Prem 15s, and yeah, just a team that I've always kind of watched and admired the way they play and stuff. So I'm really excited to be at Lightning and to get started.
Alongside some Scotland friends.
Yeah,
as well?
Alongside like a lot of the girls. Yeah, you've got like Rachel, Waz, CB, Jenny, Nelly. Like it's kind of like a little a home from home kind of thing, which is maybe what I missed before. So yeah, no, it's been great so far. The first week's been amazing, and yeah, settled in.
At the World Cup, we saw you were injured. You hurt your arm. You've had surgery. How's the recovery going?
Yeah, it's going great. I've had no problems so far. Went really smoothly. Got back out the cast, started running. In the gym, sorted it out, and yeah, I got the go ahead to go from next weekend. Is hopefully the weekend I'll be back, depending on selection.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's all going fine. Yeah, no problems.
Aiming for next weekend, and you've been training this week. Is that right?
Yeah. I've been training. Came in this week. Came in on Tuesday, so came down on Monday, trained on Tuesday, just got into the team straight in, a full week of training with all the girls, and just slotted right in.
Brilliant, that's great to hear. Unfortunately, we have another injury to discuss here. Sarah, what's happened?
Oh, I just got jumped on by a winger last week, so yeah, I just slightly hurt my collarbone, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so managing it quite well, no surgery or anything like that?
Yeah, no, not that we know of already. I hope not.
Yeah,
unless you know something I don't.
No, I don't worry. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you.
No, I don't think so. I don't really have a timeline yet, but I'm hoping it won't be too long.
Okay, great. Well, today's match has been fantastic. I mean, despite the weather, because this weather has been atrocious. I mean, before kick-off, it was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It cleared up. Players really throwing the ball about. Sarah, quite happy with how Gloucester have performed so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've let a couple of opportunities go begging maybe, but in the conditions I don't think we can argue too much. I think it's good to see that we've still come out with that ambition to play with a little bit of freedom, and the girls are looking to throw the ball about, and we've scored in out wide and in the close quarters as well, so I think that's made us happy with the variety that we're showing as well.
Yeah, of course, but Loughborough Lightning really getting their foot back into this game. Strong benches from both teams, we should say. What's the second half have in store?
From my side of things, I'm hoping Lightning, maybe get a bit wider in defence. We're a bit narrow, jumping on that maybe second last attacker and just leaving ourselves, without any numbers out wide. And I think more physicality. I think both teams are going to bring physicality again. It's the first half's been very physical with forwards, running hard, backs run hard as well. Hopefully a bit more kicking with this wind as well. Try and catch each other out and. I think it's going to be an exciting second half.
I think so, because the ball is being thrown around. It's a great match. Now, you told me just before we went on air that you two actually used to live together. Is that right? Yeah. How long for?
We were together for 2 years, down in Harlequins.
When you were at Harlequins, Is it nice to be back?
Yeah, we've not seen each other. We went away. Yeah, we went away from Quins, and I had joined Exeter last year, and unfortunately didn't have much contact, but. It's nice to be back in contact now and hopefully hopefully see each other more and stuff again,
It's now a bit closer, eh?
Yeah. It's lovely the connections across the league with so many players live together or lived together in the past, stuff like that. It's really nice actually.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Just like one big family. I think when you go somewhere to a game, like you bump into the opposition at the time that are friends, but obviously you go into the pitch and they're not friends anymore, but then you come off the pitch and they're friends again, so it's cool. It's
a lot of the girls were out for dinner last night with girls from the opposition and stuff like that. I met up with Taish, who's playing for not Harlequins, Loughborough today. She's one of my best friends from home even, so it's just nice to have that cross connection across the league.
That really is nice. And you know what, also we've got a really tight game. I mean, in years gone by, we were talking just before the match, I was talking to Cat Merchant about how maybe going to Harlequins or Saracens was the biggest ask for a team in the league, but now going to Gloucester-Hartpury is a huge ask. I mean, top of the table, you must be chuffed with that.
Yeah, I think we set our stall out very early in the season that we wanted to come out firing. I think we did that. I think girls coming back from the World Cup, we see the squad depth that we have is absolutely phenomenal, and I think the girls have really bought into that as well. Like, sometimes you're on the bench, sometimes you're not involved where you've used to be being, and I think everybody's dealt with that really well, and they understand it's a squad effort. And we've got injuries, but we are bringing other internationals into the squad when we've had injuries, or people have been able to be rested when they have had niggles and stuff like that, which has been amazing. And I think coming here is never an easy feat. I mean, when I played away here, I used to hate it because the pitch was always the weather today has not been ideal, and the pitch is a bit boggy, and you hate coming here. So if people hate coming here, that's perfect for us, because we'll love to play them here.
That's great. True. Yeah, so it's a brilliant second half to come. Just gonna final question for both of you. Score prediction?
I'm gonna go with Lightning 28-25.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go Gloucester win. I'm hoping we can put a few more points on the board that we did in the first time. I'm going to go with 35-17, and I'm hoping we'll keep them without a bonus point.
Okay, let's see who is correct at full time. It's definitely going to be a fantastic second half here at the Alpass Arena. Back to you, Dave.
I'm Danny Fan, former Staff Sergeant in the British Army. I'm a mum and a current rugby player for DMP Sharks. So when I first joined the military, I joined the Royal Electronical and Mechanical Engineers. So basically engines, airframes, weapon systems on helicopters. My specialisation was the AH-64, which was the Apache attack helicopter. First tour I was 19, and my second tour I was 21. When I was in Afghanistan, there was times where you needed to recover aircraft and put yourself in frontline situations. You learn to be a soldier and you learn to train to fight, but you don't learn to fix helicopters under fire. No matter what, they have to fly. I had a moment and I thought, I've been working on these helicopters for so long and I actually don't know a lot about what goes on the ground. And I decided I'm going to join the Corps. The Intelligence Corps is about gathering data and information from different sources, land, air, sea, and then coming up with a more strategic picture of what's happening in the battle environment. Yeah, so when I joined the British military, I'd never actually played rugby at all. And one of the great things about the British military, it opens you up to a lot of different opportunities. I can remember being asked to play rugby. There was one girl in the REME and she said, "Hey Danny, do you want to come along and play rugby?" And I thought, yeah, what do I have to do? And she said, all you need to do is take the ball and run. One of my first exposures to the British Army team was being selected, and we went straight to New Zealand on tour. That was quite an eye-opener for someone who wasn't a rugby player. Once I got that love for rugby, I just couldn't get rid of it. The great thing about the British Army squad was the camaraderie. What you're trained for, that goes onto the pitch too. So if someone's having a bad day, I knew someone would grab the back of my shirt and pick me up and drag me to the next point. So you never felt alone. You always felt like there was a team around you and everyone would work extremely hard.
Great to hear from Danny Fan there, and as part of the series looking at stories at all 10 clubs across the Allianz Premier 15s, you can catch the entire thing on the Premier 15's YouTube page. Of course, at the start of a new year, that means the Six Nations is not far away. So after the men's competition finishes, it's time for the TikTok Women's Six Nations. That begins in February. The Red Roses are on the road again, taking 3 games around the country. So you can be there in Newcastle, Northampton or London, and head to englandrugby.com/tickets for more information. Scotland, Italy and France at Kingston Park, Franklin's Gardens and Twickenham Stadium. Of course, the Premier 15s has been spending some time at Franklin's Gardens as well, with Loughborough Lightning playing some home games there. Great ground and some great rugby to be played. We're counting down to the second half. But before that, let's take a look into the future and what you can look at for the rest of the day in round 7. Bristol Bears looking like they're getting back to winning ways against Sale Sharks, and they'll need that as well after a tough couple of results, particularly against Harlequins away. Early on, Harlequins are 7-0 up against Wasps. It's 3rd versus 9th place. And then the 2-3 o'clock kickoffs as well. DMP Sharks against University of Worcester Warriors, 10th against 7th, and then Exeter Chiefs versus Saracens. Saracens will be desperate to get one over on the Chiefs just to get themselves back into playoff contention, but Exeter Chiefs will be looking to secure that top spot, or the top 2 at least, to get themselves a home playoff and try and win the trophy for the first time. Well, Loughborough Lightning are already out ahead of the second half. We can see one change. Georgina Tasker has come on wearing number 23. She'll offer some fresh pace and fresh impetus, but Mo Hunt is leading out the Gloucester-Hartpury team. A small but vocal crowd here at the Alpas Arena today, and I think they'll be pretty happy with what they've seen, Cat Merchant. I just for a second thought you were describing Mo Hunt as small but vocal. I was like, I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, the crowd also, yeah, they've got to be happy with the performance that Gloucester have shown so far, and I think there is more to come from them as well in this second half for sure. Well, interestingly, the floodlights are on, but the cloud has lifted again, and the wind seems to have died down a little bit. So let's see how that affects the play here. Loughborough Lightning starved of opportunity in the first half, but they are still in touch. Helen Nelson gets us underway in the second half, and Gloucester-Hartpury with the first carry. 4 tries for Gloucester-Hartpury, 2 tries for Loughborough Lightning. And Gloucester-Hartpury straight on the front foot. What a carry that is. We didn't see a huge amount of line breaks in the first half. The home team using the width. Matatonga receives that. Helen Nelson. It's Emma Hardy. I think the outside backs for Lightning will just be pleased to get their hands on the ball. Not much opportunity for them. That's a good tackle from Neve Jones. Nelson. That one wobbles into the hands of Rugman. Goes around the outside, Ellie Rugman. Gets past Bo Westcombe-Evans, just about manages to stay in field. Turnover from Jess Weaver, but that is out into touch.
Yeah, a smart decision there from Jess Weaver initially, seeing it was out, able to pick it up, but ended up getting into touch.
So no changes in the front row. The only change that I can see is Tasker on. And I'm not seeing the headband of Lauren Bolger either, so that'll be a change on the right wing. Try and get some information as to whether that is whether that's tactical or an injury, because Bolger looked busy in the first half.
Yeah, she was definitely one of the players that was getting her hands on the ball, carrying hard as well. So would be surprised if it was a tactical decision, because really they'd probably want to keep her on.
And we have a referee's mic. Great stuff. The warm tones of Harry Walbom to keep us company for the rest of the game. Oh, Sam Monaghan catches that high, and Gloucester-Hartpury go to work again. See that ball at the back as well. So Hunt thinks about going up the short side. Rugman round the outside. Great work from Rugman. Oh, the pass just evades Hunt, but Connie Powell is on hand to pick up the pieces for Gloucester-Hartpury. Monaghan again. Tui Pelotu, one try at the end of the first half for her, again takes it up over the gain line. Great start to the second half here for Gloucester-Hartpury, searching for try number 5 to extend the lead. Again, another ball goes to ground and goes backwards. Onto the left-hand side now. Lovely defence though. First intervention for Georgina Tasker is a good one. She makes a good tackle.
Oh, what a lovely line break out wide though as well. And what I love is how much they back their wingers. They're just so confident in the ability that they'll actually just get the ball to them. So Mo Hunt initially went on that blind carry. She looks to give Rugman the ball, and it's a 1v1. It's not even a 2v1. It's a one-on-one. Have a go. I'm going to back you. And then the back inside didn't quite go to hand, but was a lovely thought process within it.
It's come back Lightning's way, but Gloucester-Hartpury being such menaces at those lineouts. Got their hands on the ball here. Oh, held up. Well, Loughborough Lightning have coughed up the ball. Brilliant work from Monaghan. Thought she'd got over, but it was it was a try-saving tackle in the end.
Loughborough really putting pressure on themselves at times when they really don't need to be doing it.
Onside Loughborough, please.
Yeah, they generally, when they've got themselves in a pickle, it's been because they haven't exited. And I think Gloucester-Hartpury deserve the credit on that occasion for disrupting the line out, as Hunt's underneath that. She sends Oldcroft forward, straight into Malcolm. Belial's there to back it up too. Weaver's gone early, so advantage here and some width for Morris Williams to bring Hurd in. Now Bethan Lewis outside to Rugman. Rugman gets her second, Gloucester-Hartpury's 5th. And they cut loose after 5 minutes of the second half.
Playing with advantage, they didn't even need it. And I'll tell you what, it's Tatiana Hurd again. The timing of her pass, so crucial in being able to release Ellie Rugman out wide. But what a beautiful play again. So 9 gets played early, so they're playing with the advantage, and then the timing of the passing as we go across here does not let that defender drift across. Lovely passing, and then to release out wide. Great, lovely team try there.
Again, just playing with confidence, aren't they? And if you're a winger in this team now, if you're Rugman or if you're Rachel Lunds, you know if you've got paint on your boots, you're going to get opportunities.
Yeah, they release them and have a go, and it's the way that I love rugby being played that way. Yes, okay, biased probably because I was a winger, but it just makes it exciting. When you go wide, what happens is defence then stretches, then you get your runs through the middle and your line breaks there. So I love the way that they play.
That makes it a 3-score game as well. 2 converted tries will take Lightning up to 26. Just seem to have the extras. Another unsuccessful kick from Hirsch. He's having a rare off day with the boot. Gloucester-Hartpury on song here. 27-12 they lead, and still plenty of time on the clock.
I was going to say, Emerson's not brought her kicking boots today, which are normally firmly secured on her feet because she gets them from anywhere. But I mean, when you're scoring as often as this, but lovely finish, good dive. There's nothing the Loughborough defence could do to get across to that, but it's the timing of all those passes.
Monaghan, whose engine is obscene, isn't it, Sam Monaghan?
Oh, the work rate that she does, the tackling, but as well with the carries, just immense.
Ah, here's Tasker. That was Matatonga there. We've not seen that goose step in midfield very often, have we, from Baloo Matatonga?
Loughborough got himself isolated.
Mo Hunt, small but vocal, gets the offload away to Connie Bell. That's been knocked forward. This is astonishing, isn't it? It was monsoon conditions a couple of hours ago, and now, for the time of year, what are we, halfway through January, you couldn't ask for better rugby conditions.
No, absolutely glorious rugby conditions for you know, both sides that do really like to move it, so the teams that both can get it wide, and yeah, ideal conditions for how they want to play.
Still plenty to play for here for Loughborough Lightning. They're in touch. It is a big bridge to climb. But surely now you're just thinking about the next score. They score quickly, they've got another half an hour to get that bonus point try. There's still small targets that they can hit.
Such a solid scrum.
Emma Hardy. Loose pass to Nelson, but Tasker's there to crawl forward. She's behind the gain line. She's done well to steady the ship. Malcolm. Strong carry. Leah Bartlett doing some good work. Nelson kicks that to Singh. Singh has a little scan. Decides that the dummy very nearly sells it as well. Mikey George. Out there to Jones. Oh, massive shot from Williams-Morris.
Look high.
Yeah, and there's penalty advantage coming for that high shot from Karis Williams-Morris. Mikey George. Into the 22, one to chase.
Yeah, accidental high actually. Player with the ball just slips slightly, and Williams-Morris is going for the shot where she thinks she's going to tackle, and then obviously tackle high dips. But that said, penalty's right call. Got to protect players.
I was wondering if we were waiting for the decision then, but no, just waiting for the rugby
ball.
ball. Yeah.
Well, there's a pool, so I'm going to thank Lauren, who is looking after my dogs today. She sent me the most beautiful photo of Nala actually watching the rugby. So even Nala is, as a puppy, watching the game. So thanks, Lauren.
Shout out to Lauren.
Yeah. Dog sitter extraordinaire. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
And all the other Allianz Premier 15s dogs
yes.
who are enjoying the rugby today. A lovely ball to Allcroft. Your Lightning bodies offering a bit of resistance, but not a huge amount here. But where is that ball? Oh, there it is. Mo Hunt's got it. She pops it to Hurd, who gets the hand away. Oh, great work from Hurd. And they're queuing up over here for Gloucester-Hartpury. Surely try number 6 is on the cards. It's dotted down by Lund. She gets her second. She joins Rugman on 2 tries for the afternoon. And Gloucester-Hartpury stretch away even further.
Clinical and relentless. They get themselves in the right areas, and when they are there, they are so composed. But the speed at which they play at is just undefendable. Hurd does the initial line break. She ran so hard that she really does draw those defenders in, and then it's the ability and the timing of the passing to get it out wide. So Mo Hunt, really good carry, gets the defender to bite, and then it's a palm from Hurd. Keeps going, really good support as well, because that could be a steal if you get yourself isolated. Beautiful pass from Hunt, and then across, an easy dot down for Lund. But that's my favourite try of the day. That one is fantastic. Had it all.
Well, of course, one of the things that Lightning did so well in the first half that stopped Gloucester-Hartpury from scoring the tries was slowing it down in the 22. That initial carry from Hurd, that fast ball, you've got no chance.
Yeah, and it's that little carry from Mo Hunt as well. So instead of just giving it straight from the base, she's got the defender to turn in, so she's buying that extra bit of space for Hurd, and then Hurd should have been tackled, but just boshes her way through it. So powerful, and then just the hands out wide, beautifully timed.
Singh sends it goalwards, and the flags go up this time. The extras added. It's 34-12. And Gloucester-Hartpury getting closer to another gargantuan win to cement their place at the top of the table.
Yeah, here we go, look at that. Gotta love a handoff, and then the carry as well. Does really well, quick ball presentation. Look how quick that ball is away from the tackle point, and then just hands nicely here, dot it down. Nothing defence could do. Beautiful try, well executed.
Monaghan gets a run up this time. Not a rare mistake from Zoe Aldcroft.
Don't often see those, and haven't seen many of them today, but Loughborough will be pleased of it to get themselves a foothold into this game, because they're in danger of it running away from them, and they have been working very, tirelessly, and they have made Gloucester work. Gloucester have been scoring out wide, one because it's how they like to play, but also they've had to. Loughborough have been defending so tight around the middle areas.
I think a big difference in the Gloucester-Hartpury team this year. I mean, we've sung her praises, and you've awarded her player of the match previously in the season, but introducing a player like Sam Monaghan just relieves the workload of someone like Zoe Aldcroft.
Completely, they can work really balanced together, because when one of them's doing the dog work that we call it, those hard carries and all the breakdown work, it releases the other one to play out wide with their hands, so they work really well together.
Sarah Hunter having to go from the base there as that scrum broke up. Here's Cabea. And Lewis with her hands on that, can't rip it but can slow it down. Weaver to Katie Trevarthen. We've had a couple of changes in the front row. Can see Trevarthen on there for Leah Bartlett. Keris Hale has come on for Gloucester-Hartpury as well, as that's been grabbed by Flaky George. Now Gloucester-Hartpury could be away. Morden Muir's on. What an exciting addition she is.
What an impact Morden Muir makes straight away. Just a really difficult ball to take as well. She's almost falling as she gathers it, and then manages to bounce the defender off. Wow, that's a way to make an impact off the bench for sure.
Well, you mentioned the strength of the bench for Gloucester-Hartpury particularly. I mean, you bring Morden Muir on, but even bringing on Keris Hale, one of the most trusted type heads for Sean Lynn for goodness knows how long in this Gloucester-Hartpury team. Been allowed to get away with that. Looks like it might not have been straight, but sometimes the big referee in the sky levels it up there as Morwena Talling knocks that one on. Here's Hurd, again brimming with confidence. Gloucester-Hartpury out wide. Ellie Rugman on a hat-trick. Bo Westcombe-Evans just about drags her down. Monaghan lines up for another carry, but instead puts it on to Hurd. Keris Hale knocks that on, but it does feel as though the speed of the game's gone up in the last couple of minutes. Cabea. Hunter. Always presents a clean ball. Nelson catches that one, but only as far as Singh. She's got time. It is a tired chase from Loughborough Lightning, but a unified one. Nelson. Singh. It does look like a fatigued Loughborough Lightning team, doesn't it?
Yeah, they put in a real shift defensively, and it's starting to show in the legs.
Flaky George nurses that one over the top. 50-22 is on. And that's an astonishing kick. Flaky George's skill set on full show.
Yeah, it's just so smart. The scanning, the ability to put it just so well. as well in there. Touched his hand up for Loughborough, so might not think it was from the 50, from the halfway, so worth looking at that to see what's happening.
I think she's hard done by this, like George, unless it was passed back in, but either way, inch perfect from the Welsh 10.
Yeah, fantastic nudge, really good and going through. See where she kicks it from.
She was inside her own half. I just wonder whether or not the ball was passed back.
Yeah, but that is beautiful, running on over the top of the defence. Really, really great, smart play.
And with that, Cecilia Tuipulotu has left the field. Oh, another challenge from Gloucester-Hartpury, but Nelson does really well to pounce on that. Loughborough Lightning have made a change. Morena Talling, we mentioned her before, but she's come on in the second row. She'll add a big physical presence. Lost then regathered from Hunter. Oh, that's not a clean kick, but Lightning have got away with it because it's touched a Gloucester-Hartpury player.
Well, Nelson got him out of trouble there because, wow, that line out was messy. It got scrambled back and she managed to carry really well to get them out of the danger zone. But yeah, very lucky that was touched in flight, really, because that looked, I thought it was going to get charged down fully and then potentially a Gloucester score there.
Oh, that's been overthrown. Oh, Neve Jones was sniffing around. Svoboda has come on. Oh, that's been picked up by Mo Hunt, who's done it again. Her list of what can only be described as comedy tries just continues to grow. She's brilliant. The smile on her face says it all. That is 2 more from the Allianz Premier 15's arch poacher, and it's 39-12.
I'm not sure there's many occasions where over 9 has scored 2 tries of a total of about a metre between the 2 of them. But you've got to be there, you've got to make those decisions, and she's so sharp. So the line-out's overthrown, they're panicking to get back, and then the ball pops out, and then who should be there to scan and see it? Natasha Hunt, there she goes, she's gone for it. Great decision, and yeah, I love it.
They're tries that only she scores.
Yes, yeah, completely. Just other people maybe don't see it or they go for the pattern, but she's just there, she's scanning, she's 1 step ahead.
She's got the audacity to just be there and to just do it. She's in incredible form, and very often when your talisman are in incredible form, the rest of the team follow. Singh. Another good kick from her. That's the 40 up. We've got 20 minutes to go.
Gloucester really playing, you know, they're looking so strong, but as you said, it's the enjoyment factor of it as well that's so key. The way that they do, even before arriving to the game, they've got smiles on their faces, they just love it. So it's the timing of this to see ball is out. There we go, I'll pinch that. Yeah. And it's the timing, go too early, ball not out, penalty against, but great work.
Siwan Lillicrap, former Wales captain, is on for Gloucester-Hartpury. And again, just to have players like her in the setup who probably aren't going to play every week, but bring so much experience. They've been on the journey, they've seen the improvements in this game, they're seeing the improvements in these young players, and just around the training ground, it must be incredible to have them on board. That's another good handoff by Rugman. Oh, she's dancing through Lightning defenders. Eventually Bo Westcombe Evans makes half a tackle, but Gloucester-Hartpury will be thinking about 50. Bianca Blackburn on at scrum half. Singh met in midfield, but again bouncing off defenders. And this is a tale of 2 teams. Gloucester-Hartpury, well, they coughed the ball up there, but Loughborough Lightning just desperate for something. Just going back to that Mo Hunt try, her race has run now. She will put her feet up for 20 minutes. Obviously she gets the 5-pointer, but that comes from the relentlessness of Gloucester-Hartpury inside that 22, just making it a nightmare for Lightning to get out.
Oh, a complete nightmare. Anything loose, and Gloucester are so quick on it. You know, they are throwing everything at it. The charge down chases, it's not luck or misfortune that makes them have it. They work so hard for it and making it really tough for Loughborough to get out and exit their 22.
time left on the clock. We've talked about Gloucester-Hartpury scoring 50 in their last 4 games. Now, some of the scores there, you look against, you know, Wasps, obviously they're doing incredibly well just to get a team out. DMP, it's always a tough grind for them, but they scored 50 at the StoneX.
I was there for that one, and I was excited for the game. You know, 2 big teams. I felt that Gloucester probably would take it going into it, but I don't think anybody would have predicted by 50. That's incredible to put on a side that has won the Prem numerous times. So yeah, fantastic performance.
Going into this as well, we've talked about the brilliant games they've had, but Loughborough Lightning unbeaten in their last 8 against Gloucester-Hartpury. 1-7, drawn 1. I mean, unless a miracle happens, that run's going to be coming to an end. Another scrum penalty. And the celebrations over in the Gloucester-Hartpury dugout there, they're still full of energy. They're full of the success. They're pumping each other's tyres up. 41-12. The game's done and dusted, but they're still claiming those small victories too.
Oh, it's a real team effort, and you can see that when they're dancing on the bench, they're cheering their teammates on, but it is every single little battle, every tackle, every steal, every line out. They're not content with winning. They want this 50. They want beyond. They want as many as they can possibly get against every single opposition, and that's what's made them so dangerous.
And interestingly, they're yet to concede a try bonus point or a losing bonus point going into round 7 this season too. But a rare loose line out there, and the opportunity goes. And now it's up to Loughborough Lightning to do something that they've not done throughout the game, and that's exit well. Katie Trevarthen with her hands on the ball. Emma Hardy.
Interesting. Normally when you kick the ball away, that's advantage over. The referee's caught them back, giving them another shot.
Although, I was having this discussion in a men's game recently. If you kick the ball out and it's 10 or 12 metres from your try line, is that really an advantage as opposed to packing down in the scrum then?
Yeah, no, it's not. So I think it's good that they then get to have another shot at it. But generally, that's how they referee it. Its advantage is over as soon as you kick it, unless obviously it's a penalty advantage when it would come back.
So change at scrum half then. Jess Weaver off, Lucy Weaver on. What I will say is Lucy Weaver has done us the real solid of doing her hair differently today, because sometimes it is very, very difficult not just to tell the difference between the two, but the way they play as well. They're both high energy, they've got lovely delivery, and Lucy definitely a scrum half to keep your eye on. She's been doing very, very well for Loughborough students in the Women's National League this year, which, if you're an AP15s fan and you're not keeping an eye on, then you should be. 6 top university teams, Loughborough and Hartpury both in there, as are Exeter, Cardiff Met, Durham and Edinburgh. Tell you what, for a 6-team league, that's some travelling, isn't it, from Exeter to Edinburgh?
Yeah, brutal.
Emma Singh, again weaving through defenders before Sarah Hunter puts paid to that. Oldcroft, head down, it's Blackburn, Shaky George. Hannah Jones revving the engine there, but took the contact instead. It's Kelsey Jones on a hooker. Good tackle on her. Again, she's been back a little while now, but after all her injury setbacks, great to see her back playing good rugby again. George now, Hurd out to Rugman. Plenty of Lightning defenders. It's Matatonga who chops the tackle. Siwan Lillycrap juggles that ball but still wins the contact. Kelsey Jones. Again, it looks inevitable for Gloucester-Hartpury. It goes out to the left, there's numbers. Instead, Oldcroft tucks it and goes, and Williams-Morris stands her up. Lightning survive another phase. Now, Flaky George, short ball, forward ball.
Oh, very close. They've done all the work. It was such a good line, clean through, but referees deemed it just to go slightly forward there. But you can tell they're building, and they look so dangerous. And it's not just because of where they are on the pitch; it's how they play.
It's a no-look pass from George there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tatiana Hurd leaving the field. She's had a good game, hasn't she?
Yeah, really good game. She's been integral in most of the tries, I'd say. She's been involved in timing of the pass, being able to release the wing.
Well, Sophie Bridger coming on, she's lining up at outside centre, and she's really impressed you in the first 6 or so games of the season, hasn't she?
Massively. Lines of running, handling ability, defence as well. She's been a real standout player, I think, so far in the season for this team.
And fully through, that shoulder fully through. Good. Okay.
Scored the first try of the season against Exeter Chiefs. Got a second against Saracens. I tell you what, that's 2 decent teams to get your first 2 tries against for Gloucester-Hartpury. Chosen in the centres, but played an outside half for the university team that she captained to the Bucks Championships. She's going to get around about 15 minutes to try and make an impression on this game. Nelson.
Wingers on, that's touched all onside, all onside.
Flat kick that Singh gathers and marches up the left-hand side. Lovely feet again from Singh and a great balanced run. Again, they're inside 5 metres, Gloucester-Hartpury. Blackburn. Oh, there's a reach for the line, but there are Lightning players underneath it. Maud Muir's not going to get there this time.
Use the line now, Blackburn.
Blackburn again sends it one out.
Okay, tacklers everyone away.
Georgia Brock's on in cherry and white as well, so they're empty in the bench, but the quality doesn't dip. Nike George gets rid of Matatonga. And to be fair, still looks full of energy, Matatonga. Here's Georgia Brock. Pick up there from Siwan Lillycrap, brilliant hands. Now Blackburn, here is Bridger. Fancy going for the corner herself, could have put Rugman in for the hat-trick try. Oh, but Lightning turn it over. Cabea gets stood up. They just cannot get out of their own 22 here, the visitors. Now, what can Nelson do? He's going to keep it in field. Mikey George is going to take it on the 22. Assess the options. There's half a gap. There's a lovely offload from Flaky George. Oh, and another one. Beautiful ball out. There's Emma Singh, one defender to beat. Gets around the outside, reaches for the line just short. But it's a matter of time until the ball's dotted down. It is try number 8 for Gloucester-Hartpury.
The width at which they play at. Emma Singh suddenly having a fair few runs, isn't she? She's getting the ball, she's taking it on, some really good footwork as well with the width. The scramble defence from Loughborough, but that the little pick and carry there just meant game over, score.
Yeah, Hannah Jones in the end. Oh, what an offload that is. And what about this one too? Out of the contact. Jouet.
It's keeping the ball alive when you go to ground. You're allowed to place it or you're allowed to offload it. This is the initial carry from Singh, working so hard across. And then Jones, who was involved in the pass initially, works to get there and then get the finish.
Yeah, got her first try of the season against DMP. That's her second. Sometimes you just hit hot streaks, don't you? And you can't stop scoring.
Yeah.
Going into today, Gloucester-Hartpury, 22 different try scorers in the Premier 15s this season.
About 30 seconds.
Long stride, the run-up begins, but that one's missed as well. But the result now is beyond doubt. It's going to be another bonus point score. Another bonus point win for Gloucester-Hartpury. Lucky George.
7.
She's got something, hasn't she?
She really does. She's got a spark about her in the way that she plays. She just plays with no fear at all. She does things that you might not expect her to, and it really works well for them. And we spoke already about the support of the play to each other, but Jones does the initial pass. She then manages to work really hard to get there to get the score.
10 minutes to go for Loughborough Lightning to get something from this game. The only way for them to get anything is to score 2 tries and get the try bonus. About 5 minutes time, Kat, I'm going to ask you about the Allianz Premier 15's player of the match. And
On it.
after a performance like this, that's a tough decision.
Yes, yeah.
George kicks that up over halfway. Helen Nelson. Now Baloo Matatonga again with that goose step. The shame about Lightning not firing today is we haven't got to see her in full flow. She's a brilliantly talented attacking player. Good handoff for Rachel Malcolm. She's been so industrious today for Lightning, as she always is. Hardy. It's better from Lightning, more fluid. Seems like the first time they've touched the ball, maybe all half. Certainly not had any opportunities. They're in the Gloucester-Hartpury half, which is a start. Worryingly for them is that Katie Trevarthen, who stayed down in midfield.
Okay, no too long the ball. Good work.
Moina Talley. Oh, met by a red and white bomb squad. Even now, 70 minutes in, 8 tries in, still defending the middle of the park brutally, Gloucester-Hartpury.
Backwards.
It's another ball that's gone backwards. Matatonga shifts it on one.
Okay, make sure, Gloucester. Good, keep
That's
moving.
another heavy carry from Talling. They're just not going anywhere, Lightning. As that ball's left behind, it's back with Blackburn now. Ellie Rugman backs herself around the outside. Lovely handoff by Rugman.
Let's play on.
But a brave chase back, not quite quick enough on this heavy ground to get around the outside. Shuan Lillicrap on to Keris Hale. Gloucester-Hartpury back inside the 22. And then Mikey George knocks that one on. And Matatonga
Hand over.
doesn't quite stay in field. Georgina Tasker. And that wind has picked up again, blowing into the faces of Loughborough Lightning. That's not going to make the exiting any easier.
No, a tough ask for them to get out, and especially against this relentless Gloucester side.
5 calls.
And that is exactly what it is. Kelsey Jones
Let's go, come on.
in charge of arrows now. Harry Walbom calling it in. Of course, World Rugby have made it very clear that they want to speed up the game, and the line out and getting players into that line out is one of the places where they want to do that.
Got a 9. Play on.
Loose ball though, picked up by Lightning. Hunter. I'll tell you what both teams will probably be pleased with out of this game is the penalty count. It's not been particularly high for either side, is it?
Great.
Oh, now is there a chance here for Bo Westcombe-Evans? No, there's not. Emma Singh just opened the door enough to show her the touchline and then slammed it shut.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do in those back 3 positions. Make them think they've got a chance to go round you. Give them the outside and then take them into touch.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, discipline has been good, and particularly for Loughborough Lightning, at a time when you're spending a lot of time in your own 22, it's so easy to not necessarily get lazy, but just give away those penalties, sneak offside, put in an accidental high shot.
The desperation when you're defending so much can creep in, but yeah, both teams been fantastic.
As I say that, it's a penalty advantage for Gloucester-Hartpury. Hannah Jones with the carry, the most recent try scorer, Maud Muir.
See what comes.
Mikey George manages to find the target with the kick pass. It's knocked on and we go back for the penalty. 5 minutes. Well, according to our clock, remember it's not linked in with the referee's watch. When the ball goes dead then, Kat, talk to us. In fact, while we've got a bit of time, before we give you the AP 15's player of the match, who's impressed you today for both sides?
So impressive. I think that Sam Monaghan's been great today. I think Ellie Rugman's done really well as well for Gloucester. I think the whole of Loughborough have worked really hard. I thought Bolger had a good game in the first half. But for me, player of the game, someone I looked at the stats just to check as well. 14 carries, made 128 metres as well, was involved in most of the tries. Tatiana Hurd, I think she had an outstanding game today. In order to get the ball wide like that, it's got, you know, you've got to have your 10-12 working really hard.
At inside centre, averaging 9 metres a carry. That is some shift in these conditions for Tatiana Hurd, and the Red Rose is the AP 15's player of the game.
That was quick maths, Dave. That was quick maths.
It's approximate, all right? Here's Rugman, still searching for that hat-trick, and taking Gloucester-Hartpury another 5 or 6 metres closer. Another advantage coming. And the fatigue just checking in now. Blackburn finds Rugman. Rugman takes them to within 5 metres, Gloucester-Hartpury. One more try for the 50. It seems to be the minimum operating standards in this season's league. That's a nice pickup from Bridger, and the offload over the top.
Count is good. Count is good.
Lightning turn it over. Nelson fancies a dart. She's brought down in the 22. Dying embers. The Allianz Premier 15's round 7 game.
Okay, lost now, good. Hold in front. Emma's on, good.
Of course, we talked about how hard the Lightning pack have worked, and Helen Nelson doing a great job at 10, but without that X factor of the likes of Scarrett and Rowland, you're always going to struggle when you come to a place like this, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a really tough ask when you're losing 2 key players like that, both really good decision makers, good carriers, good ball handlers, and Nelson is a fantastic player, but I think she's more comfortable at 12. I think that's her go-to, where she'd want to be, with Rowland on her inside, Scarrett on her outside.
I think they're going to be out for the foreseeable. However, when Loughborough Lightning are at full send, they are a challenge for everyone. There's that hopeful dink in behind, but again, there are cherry and white bodies there. But now Lightning with the ball in the Gloucester-Hartpury half. But not for long enough.
Yeah, and a good defensive pressure there as well. As soon as the knock-on happened, Loughborough pounced on that ball. They still really want to play. They're not giving up, even though the scoreline has got away from them in this second half.
Just a reminder as well, as we've got the last couple of minutes here, stick with us for post-match reaction. Jess is already down there looking to drum up the interviews. We'll be hearing from the player of the match and the winning coach, and then we head to Exeter versus Saracens. That's the second Allianz Premier 15's live stream of the day. Not to be missed, Cat Merchant.
I'm gutted I'm going to be driving home on the motorways. I'm saving that for this evening to get home and straight away watch that.
I mean, Saracens a fascinating one. Lost to Quins, got beaten quite comprehensively by Gloucester-Hartpury, but I looked at that team sheet today and they are still the business.
Oh, it means business. Yeah, they got their big hitters back.
But Exeter down there, of course, they'll have been wounded by that opening day loss to Gloucester-Hartpury, but since then, like Gloucester-Hartpury, 5 bonus point wins in a row. That one sent skyward. Baloo Matatonga. Again, it's gone backwards. I don't think I've seen the ball bounce backwards so many times in a rugby match.
Yeah, this could have been a very different game if every ball that went backwards was a knock-on.
Oh,
can you
yes.
imagine? Scrumfest.
Yes.
Okay, tackle, keep moving, 18. Present the ball. Back.
Sarah Hunter shifts that one on again. The ball goes backwards, and again, Loughborough Lightning battling to try and escape their own 22. Mikey George going to chase her own kick. Where's this going to bounce? It's going to go into touch. And this record-breaking start to the season for Gloucester-Hartpury continues. 7 wins in a row. The last 6 have come with a bonus point. The Sean Lynn revolution is well and truly underway. It was hard graft, a tough 80 minutes for Loughborough Lightning. I'm sure they'll take positives. It was a spirited performance. But Gloucester-Hartpury, too big, too strong, too fast, too brave, too daring, too accurate. They've scored another hatful of points. Their 50-point run might have come to an end, but I think every time you tune in to watch the Cherry and Whites, you know you're going to get entertainment. Who's going to stop them, Kat?
Oh, I don't think they're going to be stopped. I really think